we'll just call this one Nutrients, pH, and Grow Room on Friday, part 2. So I'm at the older tomato tower, and what we're going to do here is go ahead and adjust. But what I was saying at the end of part 1 is that this tower was grown from seed, and now that I know how to clone, which was the other tower that we just did in part 1, you never have to do that again. You simply just add your, the clones from the clippings from this. You put it into Rockwall. You can watch that video, and they just grow. It's called totopotency is when the stem grows into the rock wall, and it just grows roots, and you never have to do from seed again. So let's go ahead and adjust this guy. Let's start with the pH first. Okay, this is reading 7.1, so we know it's pretty high. This wasn't as much water as the last tower. But let's check the nutrient. Okay, so it's reading 2.9. And for tomatoes, I think it's 2 to 4. Two to 5. So it's, what was it? 2.9. So we don't really need to do anything in there. Okay. Maybe just give it a swirl. That's weird. That must have been really high. $2.9. I'm going to leave it alone. And what was this? This needs to come down. Yeah, 7.1, and we want that to be about 6. So let's go ahead and do 2 cups. One, 2. I've been doing this now for a while, and I can just tell how much water is in the basin. No, well, yeah, I mean, it's cold in the wintertime, but right now we're kind of coming into summer, so it's around, today is a dreary day, so it's around 60 degrees, but I'm just trying to grow stuff indoors to keep away from a lot of the pest and stuff. So let's go ahead and do another reading. We're trying to get to 6. And make sure that's in there. All right, so we're at 6.5. I'm going to keep it in here for a minute. 6.2 coming down. So we're shooting for. Hi, good morning. Well, it's afternoon here, so where are you? Hi, Hazel. So it's still shooting a little high here. Where are you guys from? Still shooting 6.5. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. Give it a swirl. That's okay. I want to see those pics. Come on. Anthony, how do you do the lights in the truck? That I was thinking about that after we ended the live. What you must have some type of battery operated or something charge lights. Okay, 6 on the nose. How about that? Coming down a little bit, 5.9. So it's a little under the 6, but it's close enough. Let's get a little bit lower. I'm going to old school it. I may have put too much. So we'll double check it. Oh, they don't need lights. Okay. So 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super. I may have put too much in now. Now we got to go the other way. Yeah, so it's 5. So it's too low. Now I got to bring it back up. Where's my up? All right, so I should have left it alone. It's like you're playing poker. Like, do you want one more card? It happens. We'll swirl it around and we'll get it right. All right, so it's reading 6. It corrected it. This meter was acting up, so I replaced the battery, and now I got scared not to trust it. So I went back to the old school. Okay, so it's staying at 6. It's exactly where I want it. So that is just fine. All right, so we're going to move on to peppers next. Anthony, did you hear that I got challenged because of the watermelon? Somebody wants me to do a pumpkin tower. And of course, I'm like, I love a good challenge. So I'm like, challenge accepted, doing a pumpkin tower. I need to find an old flex, like a secondhand flex. So I will do that. Oh my God, this is going to take it out again. Right. So let's move on to the pepper tower, which is right here. And I will adjust. Bear with me. What's left of the pepper tower. All right, here we go. There we go. Yeah, so I got the seeds. They're in my cart on Amazon. They're like, I think they're called sugar babies. They're, I think the smaller variety, not the teeny tiny ones, but the just the little ones. So, I love a good challenge. I mean, someone said I couldn't grow watermelon on a tower, and I have 3. They're pollinated right now, making hammocks for it. All right, so let's do pH first. Okay, so it's reading high, so it's 7. Do I have water in here today? And let's do the easy. This is reading 2.8. And peppers, not peppers. Okay, so anywhere between 2 and 3 for nutrients, and we are at 2.8, so that's perfect. And this is, and I forgot to put water in this one. This is high. 7. So I'll just go ahead and adjust the pH and do the water tomorrow. I must have skipped it. Oopsie. Okay, so just probably just a capful for this. And a swirl. I had, I was saying this in part one if you weren't listening, a moderator call me out and said that I couldn't grow summer squash or zucchini on towers. And she deleted my comment. And I was like, what? I harvest that stuff all the time. Like I have two big ones I need to take off today because that's, I think, what I'm going to cook for dinner. So yeah, like you're a moderator of a group, but yet you can't grow that stuff on a tower. I don't know about that one. All right, so it's reading 7, still too high. My little plants that I did, the pepper plants that were store bought, made into hydroponic, they're actually doing pretty well. The older leaves just kind of fell off, but there's all kinds of new growth on top, like in the crown and then around the edges. All right, so we're at 6.5. What do we need for pH in this one? So bell peppers are between 6 and 6.5. Yeah, so I'm actually happy with that. That will really work. And I'll put some water in there tomorrow and readjust. So what do we got left? I just did that tower, and I think we have the zucchini. We're gonna go to zucchini. So let me clean this and move everything over there. So this zucchini tower is the home, not the flex. And it's definitely giving me a run for my money, that's for sure. I think the plants I used a different kind of variety of seed. They like, I don't know, that I think they just have to get to a certain size before they start to really make some viable vegetables. They're just, all right, so over here. Hopefully this doesn't cut out again. We'll be very gentle this time. It was rough with you guys last time. All right, so the leaves are really, really kind of coming in on this. Move this light. Give you a little. See how big those leaves are? I've struggled with this tower. The struggle is real. I've cut back the roots. I've cut back all kinds of stuff on this just to get it to fruit, man. I don't know. I've even taken out some of the plants because they just, I think they got crowded, which, you know, it happens. So we got here for comments. Alrighty, here we go. Towel. All right, what do we got? Oops. All right, we're reading 7, right on the nose for the pH. This is the zucchini, and zucchini likes to be at 6 for pH, and it wants 1.8 to 2.4, but this is on the mature side, so we're going to shoot for, I'm going to say probably like 1.9 to 2 for the EC for nutrient. So let's see what that's reading. There we go. Okay, so it's saying 1.5, which is a little low. So we need to adjust that. I did a lot of water in this tower today. It was probably more, I would say 3/4. So if it's 13 gallons, I probably put 9, would be my guess. So let's go ahead and adjust first. do B. I'm gonna do, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna do a little over 50 to start of A and B. Key to this is, again, small increments. Swirl it around. I hope the weather up here in New England is going to be nice this weekend. It's been so cold, and then we had this bizarre northeaster yesterday. It was really rainy, like sideways rain, gross and cold. I'm ready for some sunshine. All right, let's try this off. 0, 0. What do we got? Okay, so we bumped way up, so we're like 1.8 now, and I'm thinking probably need a little bit more. I'm going to go a little bit more, so because it's mature. So here we go, just a scotchy, probably like 25 ml. There and here. Swirl it around. And what do we got? Almost to the 9. We're still at the 1.8. So I still think we're down below where we need to be. A little bit more. These big jugs are hard to maneuver around. They've got a lot of liquid in them. My little baby ones were so much better. All right. Hopefully this is on the money, guys. Okay, so we're at 2. I'm okay with that. Kind of smack dab in the middle, so because it says 1.8 to 2.4. So 2 is kind of right there in the middle. So I'm all right with that. So let's go ahead and adjust the pH. So it's saying 6.76, 7.1, 66, 666. So I'm thinking a half cap for this will get us right to 6. Oop, hold on. Almost the wrong one. It's so good that Tower Garden makes colored. So I almost put an up instead of a down. Right. It's reading 6.3. I need to come down a little bit more. Okay. It's not going to. I'm going to old school it. I don't want to go too far because I've been really struggling with this tower. Um, and I've just noticed over the past week that it's doing much, much better. And with the foliage, which means that there's going to be some serious fruit that will start to grow. So I don't want to go too far on this one. So we're right at 5. Get some drops. All right, so this is saying that the pH is way off, that it's too low. That makes no sense. So this is coming up a rust color. That's what I mean. Like, I think this meter is just off, which is indicating a 4.5 to 5, which is incredibly too low. But the meter is saying 6.4. So this needs to come up, and the meter's wrong. Okay. So I'm trusting the old school on this one. Okay, so let's add 2 of these bottles. So weird. All right, let's try it again. Patience with tower gardening. That is for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this is looking much better. I'm going to show you guys because I saved it. All right, so the zucchini is calling for 6, and I don't know if you guys can see the shade of green here, and the paper, you want it to be right here. Okay, so it's kind of, maybe I could do that. It's right where I need it to be, kind of in that right there. I'm doing this backwards, so I apologize. Now, the first time I did it, because I didn't trust the meter, was way up in the rust range. So something happened. I don't know why. That's the problem I've been having with this meter. Time for a new one. And when it's slightly off like that, that can alter the state of the plant. It will literally make it, you could burn it if it's way too high. And if it's too low, then you're going to get this massive yellowing. So that's why I've been doing both. So, yeah. All right. So it looks like it's good to go. Let's empty these. I'm going to go over to the tower. Did anyone see that video that I did last week of the cleaning out the cucumber? So I just want to test that. It looks like it's doing okay because I got tons and tons of blooms on there, and there's actually a cute little cucumber that's growing right now. So yeah, it's really, really good. So let me get rid of all this excess water. And let's relocate. And I want to show you. Look at, isn't that cute? I just noticed him today. So I want to go ahead and just check the pH on this one. So maybe what I'll do since I'm done with that is just adjust the camera much, much higher. A little bit more. So with this tower, I Yeah, I know. I did. I bought all kinds of little packets. So I recalibrated it, and that's the recalibration. So it was working on these other towers, and I was going like back and forth between the old school and new school. And then all of a sudden, it just gave a reading like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to order a different one, and just see if that's part of the issue, because like it really does affect the plants. So I've been going back to the tower garden, old school. Thank God I got those. But yeah, so this tower that I did, um, right here, I took all of this out and cleaned the tower and really just made it, sparkling clean, did a complete reverse water. So over the past week, we got some really good growth. I think what's happening on these leaves, you can see some spots. Those were the old stuff before I pulled it out. So when I put everything back in, I knew I'd probably lose something, but I can see down here that everybody's really happy, and there's just beautiful blooms. And like I said, I just noticed this today, this little cucumber that's pollinated. So if it wasn't happy, it would, everything would be drooped and sagging. I wouldn't have the antennas. So I just want to give a little test, and it's dirty. I need to clean it, um, to the pH. But I'm going to do old school because I don't trust the speeder now. I mean, down here, we got all this new growth. This thing grows like a weed. It's crazy how fast this thing grows. But yeah, that was a 3 hour and 15-minute video live of cleaning this all out, including the celery. The celery was like like almost 3 pounds, and then I had to cut some of it back because it was just too, it was too big to get back in the net pot. So I mean, I lost some, but it's okay. I have more growing in the nursery. All right, I just want to check this paper. I want to say that, um, 6 is what they want. 6.5 for celery, and for cucumber, 6.8 to 6. So we'll shoot for 6. I feel like this celery is like bulletproof. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I can just tell by that pH is fine. Cucumbers, when they're in a clean tower, um, they don't, the pH on this doesn't really alter all that much. So this is the green. It's fine. I don't have any issue with it. Yep, I'm just looking at the paper, and it's right at that 6. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it alone. Gotta leave it alone. But as you can see, this is a process, and it takes a little bit of time when you have 9 towers. I try each week to do the water top off on a couple. Let me just spin this around so you guys can see me. And I try not to do all of them every week because that's just a lot. So if you just stagger them, do like 3 or 4 one week, and then you do a few more the next. So there's a nice flow. There's a nice rotation to your work. So you definitely, don't want to be spending every single moment in your grow room. So let me just clean up this mess. You guys can watch me clean. There we go. But yeah, time for a new meter, probably a different kind too. And I'll take that one off my website so people don't buy it, because now it's giving me trouble. Well, why don't we do a little tour? We'll go back through some of the fun stuff, and you can see. So let me swivel this around. Okay. Go back to the zucchini. So arugula on top is really nice. It's got nice fullness, crispness to it, and the flavor is unbelievable. And then if I back up and then just go pan down just a little bit, this is the real pretty side of the zucchini. A lot of really good foliage. And I've been, like I said, I've been struggling with this guy for a little bit. And finally, I feel like I've got some good, canopy going, and I can see some fruit into here. But I've had to cut this thing back numerous times. And so I'll swivel to this side and you'll see what I mean. So this side isn't as pretty. It's just a little cut back because it just wasn't growing, because I think that the pH was a little bit off, but it's now that it's better, it's drinking and it's growing, and it's giving me some fruit in there. Actually, that's not zucchini. So when I was growing, they got mixed up. So those are little tiny summer squash. They look so it got thrown in there, but that's okay. The foliage is still lush and beautiful, and it's looking much better. It's For a little while it was looking like a ragamuffin, little scruff muffin tower, and I was like, if it doesn't do something, I get impatient. I was like, I'll rip it apart. Um, but then you got to check this out. So I'm going to walk you guys around. The watermelon tower is just I'm in love with this. I really am. I'm like, I just cannot believe right there in its glory. So beautiful. So I'm going to check it. I haven't checked it today. So the vine is right there. I connected to the watermelon and it looks good. I'm looking for tension on this vine right here. I'm going to just adjust it just a little bit. Looks good. And it looks like it's starting to take shape, like on the bottom. And then I found over here, I put the camera too. We got a time-lapse camera going on it, so we can keep an eye on it. I'm upstairs at my desk and I'm working. I click on it to see what it's doing, and then I play back the time lapse. So see this string right where my finger is. So I want to move it, but there's a pollinated one right there. So that one doesn't need a hammock just yet, but there's one on the backside and would be really difficult to film. But it's almost the same size as this one. And again, I didn't even know it was there because the vine, this is the vine, guys. See how it's like 3D? So you really got to go in and you got to kind of pull it apart, and it's sticky. So you could see how the vine goes right on top of the one that I just showed you. It completely canopies it. It covers it, so you can't see it. And that's, and then you get the double, triple layers. So if you're not picking up the vines and just really giving them a good look, it's really easy to miss because they look like, like something Tarzan would swing on. They're gorgeous. But the next project is going to be me moving things around because this tower needs airflow. It's just getting too thick. The small tomato here to the left, and I really want you guys to see it, but it's like it's so in there. It would be hard to get in there until I move this. So yeah, and then we've got some more arugula up there. Yum yum, my favorite lettuce. And this is the Clone It Like Kevin tomato, and we got a time lapse on this. And it's almost time to get in there and start to prune away because, look how thick this is. And I've got, clusters of tomatoes just like this everywhere, and lots of blooms that are, right here. They're everywhere. And I've been pollinating like crazy, but you can just see where the canopy's getting a little thick. And without, pruning it back a little bit, you're not going to get that airflow. and it's going to stop the production of the flowers. So we want that because that's going to give us more fruit. And I don't have a trellis for this, so I'm just going to let this thing go wild and do its thing. And then, of course, we got the Blue Lake bean tower. And this I've harvested now. I think 3 times I've harvested, and it is beautiful. If there's more beans I need to plow here, here's one. Can you guys see that? And they grow really fast. So if you haven't had a chance, go watch that time lapse because it's about I want to say 2 week span of this guy. On the inside is where I put the time lapse, and it shows you from the bud to the and watching the bean grow into the full fruit. So, I mean, again, I was just in here the other day, and I took off as much as I possibly can to make that the fried rice recipe. And I actually still have a little bit in my fridge. No, we ate them last night, so I take that back. We ate them. So, but I'm ready to do it again just so that it keeps flowering, because these little flowers right here, they curl up, they shrivel up, and right here is where you see the tiny little green bean, and within a week's time or less, they they produce, you know, a full bean. So you just have to stay on top of it. Otherwise, they get too thick and they start to actually create the beans on the inside to germinate. It's kind of like their way of bolting, I guess, but they don't taste as good when they get to that. So you can see this one right here. It's tilt down. This guy right here, when it starts to do that wrinkly, you can see where the seeds are on the inside. They don't taste as good. And then this is my new problem child. So this tower I've been pulling out, and I'm just waiting for that summer squash right here to develop. It's done. I should harvest it. And then of course it threw off, you know, just when I'm like taking everything out and I'm like, I'm done with you. It's growing this. I need to pollinate that. And there's one over here that's pollinated. And then of course you got this big guy down here, this zucchini that's like deep down right there. It will probably, this will be my project, is I'm gonna harvest the big guys, and I'm gonna take it apart and give it a good clean and a complete water change and scrub on the bottom like I did the one last week, and then put it back together and just try to put those plants back in. And I'm going to put them all at the bottom so I can put some seedlings on top. They spread out real fast. I'll plant those and get those going. And then, of course, this was the old tomato tower. I mean, look at this sucker. And I mean, I just pruned that back 2 weeks ago. And it's, you know, I feel like it's filled back in. It has tons of flowers that I've been not germinating, but pollinating rather. And I mean, I can't eat tomatoes fast enough. I make all kinds of salads. I made a huge dish the other night that was a sauce, where you take the tomatoes and kind of boil them down. And I put a little bit of chicken stock with it, and then added a scotch of cheese, and it tasted like tomato soup. And I put that with some chicken. It was delicious. I need to do that for a video. But yeah, this is just chuck full of tomatoes. They're everywhere. And you know, I keep finding them that some they're over ripened, and they come down in the morning and they're like splat on the floor. So I really try to catch them before that happens. And then of course my little pepper plant. Actually, I see some new flowers. So since I cleaned that out and I put this top row right here, which was the that video I did of germinating the seeds from the store bots, and then down here, right here, these are the ones that we did from the taking the soil off and rinsing it down and putting them in with some rock wool, and I've got some covers so that the algae doesn't get to them. So yeah, everybody's doing really well. So a lot of the, like I said, the big leaves kind of fell off, but all of this right here is new. All down here is new, and the other one right here is it's same thing. So there is a transition when you do that from soil to hydroponic, but it does work. And then I see a couple flowers that I did not get this morning, must have just popped open on the pepper plant, that need to be pollinated. So when I cut this back, the same thing with the tomato, it's going to force it to grow, and it's going to give me more pepper flowers, which you just have to take the toothbrush and give it a little, shake, vibrate it, and let the pollen do its thing. And it will grow these beautiful peppers. And I've got one down here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Big, there's a yellow one down here. Everything else is like orange, a few green ones. But yeah. So this will be in stages. And the new peppers that I'm putting in here too, I want to say that these are jalapeno. And these were just those store-bought, red, yellow, and orange. I kind of mixed them all together. I don't really know what's what. It'll be a surprise when they grow. How about that? And this is the one that we planted out the other day. It's doing really, really well with eclipse. Remember, I said when I was cursing myself. This is my punishment. Is they were too leggy, so everything is kind of clipped here, and they're actually I should probably undo that one. That looks a little like it's help me breathe. It's growing third and fourth leaves, so they're all doing really, really well. Some have the covers, some do not, but they're all no issues. And then this beautiful lettuce, the butter lettuce, is all doing really well. This is the zucchini. I think of what it was. So this is a new kind of zucchini that's round. It looks like a green apple. So I'll be curious to see what that looks like when that grows. I need to put the trellis on. Yeah, I need to put that cage on like ASAP because it's going to start to grow really, really fast. I wonder if I could do that. No, I think I'll wait. I'll wait on that one. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. But and then of course, like I just showed you guys, the cucumber. And it's doing well. I mean, it's got all kinds of blooms. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be throwing off the flowers. And I just need to go in and let's take a peek. Let's see if we can find any flowers that need to be pollinated. Oh yeah, right there. So I just look for a male. So I'm gonna go just rinse that a little bit. I don't like to cross pollinate with different pollens. Um, Stick it there and wipe it. Okay, it's just a little bit cleaner. Okay, so what do we got here? A little male. Get in there. Sometimes I'm aggressive. And the same thing there. So if this was, not doing well, then I would think that it wouldn't be doing what it's doing now. So I'm pretty happy. Although I don't like it when it wraps the tentacles around the light. That makes me really nervous. So I end up having to kind of peel them a little bit. And they're doing it. There's a whole gang of them that are trying to attach themselves to the light. And it's easy to break, but I don't know. Just want to protect that cord. But cucumbers are aggressive, man. That's why when I cleaned it out and I took them all out, I'm like, oh my God, they'll be fine. And if they're not, then start over. I'm not going to cry. Did it once, do it again. All right, what do we got under here? The other thing too, before I cleaned it, it had some powdery mildew. That was the other problem. I think it just got a little too, and that's from not having airflow. So we will work on that this time around. Oh my God, these little things are crazy. Time for the vacuum. So what do we got? Yep, a couple little leaves. And then this one's trying to attach to the bottom. But it's chock full of beautiful flowers. And if I put the fan over here, it would actually do some self-pollinating. So I've got a branch in the back that's got a bunch of little cucumbers that need to be, the flowers not open. So that's a really good sign that it made it through the transition of a week. And I can already just see the leaves just look healthier. I mean, this is old. That's from transition of even before taking it out last week. But even just knowing that, where did it go? That little cucumber that's hiding on me now. Oh, they're right there. Look how cute that is. Um, Knowing that that's growing tells me that everything is good to go on this tower. And eventually I won't prune any more back because I don't want to stunt it. But when these little leaves get a little bit bigger, then I'll go in and I will take some of the leaves that look distorted off because they kind of bug me. I like my towers to look really pretty, like they're art. And when they do, they make me really happy. So, um, anyway, and then going over here, I'll do this over here. This is what's going on in the nursery. So to the left, I've got the rest of those peppers. And then right there is the celery. Let me just check the celery while I'm here. I don't think they're ready. I want them to be ready, but I don't think that they are. Their root systems are just not there. See, it's been in here for like, I don't know, it feels like weeks because the seed is so little. And I've got the greens, but I don't have the roots. I've got two, three. It's not enough to put in the tower. So they stay here on the warming mat under the beautiful little lights. Let's get a few right there. And these guys, let's just check them. No, they're starting, but it's not enough. I'll put them in there, and inevitably I'll have to take them out because they'll wilt. These guys might be all right. Yeah, see, he's ready to go in there. So I'll have to go through them. And then these guys got a little yellow on them. He's probably not getting water. All right. So as you can see, so much to do. So much to do. But I think tomorrow I'm going to come back and pull that tower apart after I harvest this two. The summer squash and the zucchini and cook them up for dinner. And then pull it apart and wash it and put what I can back on there. And then maybe we do some plantings. So probably, I would say probably like late morning, early afternoon, you guys can catch me doing that. We'll have some fun. You can watch me get tortured again by cleaning out a tower and doing the reverse water exchange and then filling it back up and putting it back together. It took the last one took me 3.5 hours. I don't think it will be that long for this one, but it will be fun. So I hope you guys can join me and stay tuned on the pH meters because I don't know. I'm going to have to order a new one. So thanks for tuning in. And so sorry for this disruption on the first one. This was be part two. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.